All right, the Transport Department says it is not rushing plans to extend the validity of driver's license cards. The proposal to increase the current 5-year period to 8 years has been under review for a while now. It comes as the contract to supply license card printing equipment was recently declared irregular. That's by the courts and must be re-tendered. Our Transport Minister Barbara Creecy joins us now for more on this conversation. Minister, it's so good to actually speak to you. I don't think we've spoken to you in a while, so this is a really, really great time to have this conversation. So thank you for it. Perhaps we could just start indeed. So the shift from 5 to 8 is definitely happening. That's something you can confirm for us, but it's going to take some time to get right. Is that the case? Good morning.
Good morning and greetings to all your viewers. Yes, in principle, we support this shift. It is the international benchmark that driving licenses should be renewed every 8 years. I have asked the department to do a study on the financial implications of that, so that once we take the decision, we should not be in a situation where later on we say, whoops, there were unintended consequences. But I do hope that this year, this is something we can put to bed once and for all.
Yeah, because I was actually going to ask about those financial implications. So what could ultimately hold this back? What could prevent us from having this 8-year registration period? Would it purely have to just be a financial decision? Minister, I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Well, you would understand that range of... I can hear you.
Okay,
can
perfect.
You hear me?
Yeah, perfect. Please go
Hello?
on.
What I'm saying is that we obviously have a whole system that is in place to produce licenses and make them available to the public. What we have to make sure is that if we're renewing licenses every 8 years, we have enough revenue. There could be an implication that there isn't enough revenue if it's every 8 years, and we may have to increase the tariff. So that is the issue that one is looking at, how we will balance what it costs us to produce the license with the fact that we will be giving the public a longer period of time for license validity.
Yeah, and I suppose then that takes us all the way back to the card, the card machine that produces these licenses as well. At present, only one exists in the country. But the courts now have the High Court has now said that the current tender that is out is now irregular, so you can put that out to tender. And now you're going to be asking, I believe, the Department of Home Affairs to help you with regards to printing of licenses. Is that correct?
Well, yes, absolutely. Let me first of all say that between May and December, we printed 2.3 million licenses on the old machine. And what we can say to citizens is there's no longer a backlog and a lengthy waiting time. An unintended consequence of this whole process has been the relationship we've developed with Home Affairs, a very important relationship. We want to bring Home Affairs in the interim to assist us with printing cards. We have integrated our IT systems. We have a prototype card. Obviously, we need to go to Cabinet now that the edema tender has been ruled as irregular by the courts. We need to update Cabinet, and then we would want to move forward. We want to understand whether even the government printer would need to respond to a tender process. So all of these processes, once we've studied the judgment, are going to be put in place so that we can move towards a better system. You know, the relationship with Home Affairs is terribly important because in other countries there is integration of the driver's license and the ID document. That obviously improves integrity of both documents. But what it also does is it presents us with an opportunity going forward that we may only need to have one card, and that over time, that card itself could become digital.
Yeah, and I was actually going to ask that because it would be so important to be able to do something like that. The integration just makes sense, one would feel. Because I remember a time when you would actually have a stamp, I think, on your green ID book that declared that you had a driving permit or driving license as well. So this integration would itself speak volumes. The benefits here of that digital driving permit and the online renewal system onto MyMzansi, the importance of having that platform now working officially. When can that officially run? Because I know we've run a few tests officially as well. And how quickly?
Well, I think that's what we are currently involved with. What you would understand, I like to use the analogy of the duck. So online platforms look very beautiful, but if you don't do all the peddling behind the scenes beforehand, you actually have appropriate integration. So that is the work that we're involved with. We're also working with the presidency that are assisting departments across government to improve online services. And I think that we hope that this year is going to be a year when citizens can finally say that it's not a sweat to apply for a new driving license anymore.
Yeah, so the date on that isn't set either, because I can imagine that consumers would be very keen to find easier ways to get all of this sorted.
Yes, and you would understand that obviously not only is there the issue of integration with another government department, there's also issues with integration with provincial systems. And a province such as Gauteng is very advanced with online services, but you would understand that that kind of application may not be as readily available in a province like the Eastern Cape. So we do have to balance questions of provincial variation, but we also have to balance citizen choice. So those of us who were born before technology may actually prefer to still go to an office, get a physical card. So these are some of the variables that make this matter more complex than might appear on the surface.
Yeah. While it sounds great as well to be able to outsource at the time being to the Department of Home Affairs when it comes to those license cards, does that not change the efficiency even more when one tries to get that card? Or is it going to be a much more seamless process because of the communication that you now have with the Department of Home Affairs?
Well, I think that Home Affairs itself is undergoing a whole reform process that means that you can get your ID and your passport a lot quicker than we've been able to produce a driving license card. So I think that this working together that we've been doing over the last 4 months really is going to assist all of us.
Yeah, very important one then. The role of the oversight bodies as well in ensuring the integrity of the new license card system. I mean, yes, we've got this tender that will now go out for this license card printing, but just ensuring that you continue to have oversight here, because there are question marks that had been laid, of course, on the irregularities of that near 900 million rand tender process itself. How important is that going to be in all of this to try and keep things transparent too, Minister?
Well, I think that the fact that we've landed up with the courts ruling that the Idima tender was irregular is a testament to the transparency of government. If this thing was secret and in a cupboard, it would still be secret and in a cupboard. So I think that the fact that there has to be an open tender process, the fact that the Auditor General audits these processes, all of this ensures that there is transparency. Of course, cost is a crucial issue. And that's why one has got to look at whether an ongoing relationship with the government printer would be a cost-beneficial relationship for the public. And that, for me, is very important because it relates to our previous discussion of what are the cost implications of issuing the license only every 8 years and not every 5 years. So I think you can understand that all of these things are related. And that's why we want to make evidence-based decisions and not thumbs up before we move forward.
Yeah, very important. Minister, I'd be remiss, however, if I didn't ask you, we're just almost out of the festive season return leg so far. I don't know if you're able to share perhaps the road safety campaigns, their effectiveness so far as well, and just how the sector has fared over the last couple of weeks.
Look, we will release the statistics on Thursday next week. I think it's a little bit early for us to say whether overall we are up or down in terms of the accident rate. I think what we can all agree is that our law enforcement authorities have worked extremely hard. There's been a significant increase in the number of vehicles that have been stopped and checked, a significant increase in the arrests and prosecutions for drunken driving and speeding, all of which I think have a very negative impact on the safety of the public in general. But I think we also have to admit that even if the figures come down, they are still much, much too high. Yeah. And it means that all of us, including the public, have got to do a lot more work on our behavior, not just over the festive season, but every single day. We have to make sure that we are driving in a manner that saves lives and allows each and every one of us to arrive safely at our destination.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. And I suppose it's to that behavior change that I then ask my next question really is, from even the people that you're speaking to on the ground, police officers, etc., transport officials, is there a sense of behavior change? Are consumers seeing things differently, acting differently on the roads? Because that's going to be important for any kind of the carnage that we had seen in previous years and that we had reported on previously.
Look, I think that there are a lot of very responsible drivers and a lot of very responsible citizens out there. But we still have those who insist that drinking and driving is a good idea. Because we've had increased law enforcement operations, in this festive season, we have arrested 7,000 drunken drivers, which is double the number of last year. Now, statisticians will always debate. Is this an indication that we've got better law enforcement, or is this an indication that we've got worse citizen behavior? But I think that the message we're trying to get across to the public is, on the one hand, a positive message. These are the things that cause accidents. Please don't do them. And on the other hand, a message that if you do them, there will be consequences, and those consequences will be serious.
Yeah. All right. Minister, I've run out of time. 30 seconds very quickly, just with regards to the situation between taxis and the e-hailing services. Has that been cleared up? Are we finally okay, considering that there is legislation in place?
Well, the regulations have come into place. The transport system, as you know, is a complex system. Yeah. I can't sit here and say that there are those who are not going to break the law. We are in constant contact with the Minister of Police on transgressions and on improvements from the side of police in terms of enforcement. So let's see how this matter plays out. Yeah,
Minister, it's always good chatting to you. Thank you so much for making the time. If you're ever in Johannesburg as well and you're willing to cross down to Johannesburg, join us in studio. Would love to have a chat with you right here as well. Transport Minister Barbara Creecy, as we get into the conversation just around that license card validity shifting from 5 years to 8.